Unexpected discovery. The master suite of the Harrington penthouse was strictly off-limits. Nora Fleming knew this rule better than anyone. She'd been the head housekeeper for Wesley Harrington's Manhattan residence for over 3 years. Today, however, was different. The quarterly deep clean was scheduled, and Mr. Harrington's personal assistant had confirmed he would be in Tokyo until Friday. Nora pushed her cleaning cart through the double doors of the master suite, her rubber gloves already on. At 32, she moved with practiced efficiency, her dark hair pulled back in a practical bun. The morning sun streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating the minimalist luxury of the room and the unexpected form beneath the covers of the king-sized bed. Nora froze. Wesley Harrington, founder of Horizon Innovations and one of the wealthiest men in America, was asleep in his own bed, the bed she was supposed to be stripping and remaking. She began backing toward the door when his eyes opened. For a moment he seemed as confused as she was. "Ms. Fleming?" His voice was rough with sleep. He sat up, dark hair disheveled, the crisp white sheets pooling around his waist. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Harrington," she stammered, clutching her cart handle. "Ms. Porter said you were in Tokyo until Friday." "I wouldn't have—" "The meetings ended early." He ran a hand over his face. "What time is it?" "Just after 9, sir." Wesley Harrington was known for his punctuality and discipline. Seeing him asleep at this hour was disconcerting. More concerning was the emptiness in his eyes. Nothing like the confident tech mogul whose face graced magazine covers. "I'll come back later," Nora said, turning to leave. "No, stay," he said, reaching for a t-shirt from the bedside table. "I should be up anyway, just give me a moment." Nora nodded awkwardly, stepping out to wait in the hallway. When he emerged 10 minutes later in sweatpants and a plain t-shirt, he looked more like an ordinary man than a billionaire. "I apologize for the confusion," he said. "No need to apologize." "Mr. Harrington, it's your home." He studied her, tilting his head slightly. "You've worked here 3 years?" 3 years and 4 months, she corrected, surprised he knew even approximately. "And I've barely spoken to you," he said, more to himself than to her. "That seems wrong somehow." The statement hung in the air between them. Nora shifted uncomfortably, unsure how to respond. "Would you like some coffee?" he asked suddenly. "Sir?" "Coffee. I was going to make some." "Would you like a cup?" Every professional instinct told Nora to decline politely and return to her duties. Yet something in his expression, a vulnerability she'd never seen before, made her hesitate. Yes, that would be nice." "Thank you." He led her to the kitchen, moving with an unexpected ease as he prepared 2 cups. The Wesley Harrington she glimpsed in passing was always impeccably dressed, surrounded by assistants, intense and focused. This version, barefoot in his kitchen measuring coffee grounds, was entirely different. "Do you take cream?" he asked. "Just black, please." He handed her a steaming mug. "I've been meaning to thank you." "For what?" "The photographs in my office, you arrange them differently each month." Nora felt heat rise to her cheeks. She'd assumed he never noticed. The rotating art display was her small unauthorized addition to her duties. "I hope that's all right," she said. They seemed lonely, always in the same position. A small smile touched his lips. "It's the only change I look forward to these days." The admission seemed to surprise him as much as her. He looked down at his coffee. "I should let you get back to work," he said abruptly. "And I have calls to make." Nora nodded, setting down her half-finished coffee. "Of course, Mr. Harrington." As she turned to leave, he called after her. "Ms. Fleming." She paused at the doorway. "Thank you for the coffee," he said, then added more softly, "and for seeing something that needed changing." Nora smiled. "You're welcome, Mr. Harrington." As she returned to her cleaning cart, Nora couldn't shake the feeling that something significant had shifted in the carefully maintained distance between employer and employee. Something neither of them had planned, but perhaps both needed. Morning confessions. The coffee became a ritual neither planned. Each morning, Wesley would have 2 cups waiting when Nora arrived for work. Initially awkward, their conversations gradually deepened. "What do you do outside of work?" Wesley asked one morning, genuinely curious. Nora hesitated before pulling out her phone. "I'm a photographer, or trying to be." She showed him landscapes and street portraits that captured raw human emotion. "These are extraordinary," he said, genuinely impressed. "Why are you cleaning houses?" "Because art doesn't pay Manhattan rent," she replied with a small smile. And I'm good at being invisible. People like you need someone who moves through spaces without leaving marks. Wesley's expression darkened. People like me? People who have everything except what matters, she clarified gently. The words struck him deeply. I've lived in this penthouse for 7 years, he confessed. Do you know how many real conversations I've had here? Maybe 5. They shared more personal truths. His parents' bitter divorce, her struggle raising her younger brother after their parents died. 2 people from different worlds finding unexpected common ground. Boundaries crossed. Their morning conversations continued for weeks, evolving into something neither could define. Wesley started working from home more often. Nora began bringing her camera, capturing morning light through his windows. When Nora mentioned her upcoming exhibition at a small Brooklyn gallery, Wesley simply nodded. She never expected him to attend. Yet on opening night she spotted him in the corner, baseball cap pulled low, studying her photographs with genuine interest. You came, she said, approaching cautiously. I wouldn't have missed it. His eyes never left the photographs. These tell stories words never could. Meanwhile, Wesley shared his own struggles, the weight of his company, his estrangement from his brother. Nora gently encouraged reconciliation. Family is precious, she told him. Don't wait until it's too late. When Wesley finally called his brother after 8 years of silence, he realized how much his life had changed because of a housekeeper who saw beyond his wealth. Worlds apart reality intruded on their fragile connection when Wesley's business partner, Timothy, arrived unannounced one morning to find them sharing breakfast. Interesting management technique, Timothy remarked coldly after Nora left the room. It's not what you think, Wesley defended. It never is. But the board won't care what it is, only how it looks. Similarly, Nora's friend Vanessa voiced concerns. He lives in a different world. Nora. People like him don't cross that line permanently. The warnings created distance between them. Wesley began scheduling meetings during her cleaning hours. Nora limited herself to professional pleasantries. Both felt the loss profoundly but couldn't bridge the growing gap between their worlds. When Horizon Innovations faced a crisis requiring Wesley's full attention, he disappeared into his work completely. Nora returned to being invisible, the woman who silently maintained his space while he built his empire. The room between. 3 months of professional distance left them both hollow. After successfully navigating his company through crisis, Wesley returned home early to find Nora photographing the sunset from his balcony. I'm sorry, she said, quickly packing her camera. I shouldn't have. No, he interrupted. This is exactly what you should be doing. Capturing beauty others miss. Their eyes met, acknowledging what they'd lost. I've been thinking about spaces, Wesley said. How we create them, inhabit them, share them. He showed her architectural plans, a building with a photography studio on the ground floor, living spaces above, and a rooftop garden. I'm tired of living in a world that doesn't have room for what matters, he explained. I want to build something new, a place where both our worlds can exist. Nora studied the plans. Are you asking me to be your tenant or your partner? I'm asking you to help me create a space that isn't mine or yours, but ours, where neither of us has to be invisible. She smiled, realizing that true connection wasn't about erasing differences or crossing boundaries. It was about creating something new together, a room between their separate worlds where both could belong. I'd like that, Nora said, taking his hand. A space we build together. As the sun set over Manhattan, they stood side by side, envisioning not just a building, but a life where both their truths could coexist, where the billionaire and the housekeeper could simply be Wesley and Nora, 2 people who had found each other when they least expected it.